Hello and welcome back to Mr. Alawi. Today I will be talking about verb tenses. First of all, what are verb tenses? Verb tenses help us understand when an action takes place. And there are the four main types of those verb tenses. Those are simple, perfect, progressive, and perfect progressive. Each of these can
No,
be used in the past, present, and future.
no,
Learning these
go
tenses
back.
will help you
No,
become
it
a
just
better
I need
writer
to
and
listen
speaker. I
because it
know it
takes
helped
20
me.
minutes to
So
load that I need to know
today
what to
that
put
was
down and stuff.
what I would be
Because if I
explaining to
don't
you
do this,
today.
then I just have to pay six
First of all,
bucks
let's
one
start out
time.
with the simple tenses.
I asked, but I don't know
The
if you have to
simple
do it
present tense is used
because
for
it doesn't
things
let
that
me
happen
export
regularly,
videos that are longer than 10
repeating
minutes unless
things,
I pay just one
or
time
just
six
facts.
bucks. So I don't know if I should do
For
it
example,
rather than just
in
having to wait like this.
this sentence,
Huh?
she
I
writes
know because I have to do this. Just
every
wait for it
day.
to record another version.
The verb writes
This
shows that
video
this
is
is a
20
habit
minutes.
because
That was
she's
my
doing
longest
it
video.
every day, and
It's about English.
the adverb every day helps us know that this is a simple present verb, because it is showing us that this action is repeating. And remember, simple present tenses
Hi.
include repeating verbs, repeating
Hi, hey,
habits. Another example would be
ماشي. Just the
like
bag.
the
Everything is
sun
in the bag. Same.
rises in the
No, I don't have to
east.
take the long bag. Little bag
This
with
is
our with
another
to put my Apple
repeating
Watch in.
sentence
No, carry
where
on.
rises is the verb and it's showing that it keeps on
We're
rising
both
every
gold belt
single
beef
time.
dash,
It is
and a few
implied
more belts will
that
be able to
the
instruct.
sun rises every day in the east. It's implied here in this sentence. This is a fact. This is a fact that never changes as well, because it keeps on. You can make the argument that it's a repeating verb, or that it's a habit, or it's a fact, because everyone knows the sun rises in the east. That's um that's that's a fact that no one can prove wrong. So yeah, that would be the simple present tense for the simple tense. There's also the simple past tense, which talks about something that happened at a specific time in the past. Like, like some past words like spoken, uh, talked,
49.
ran.
I think I'm just
And
gonna
like some
49.
of
I
them
think
are
I'm just gonna
irregular,
play.
some of them are regular. For example, as I said, spoken is an
Play no Robo.
irregular past verb, because
I
it
know,
doesn't
I know.
end with ed, it ends with like en.
Last time I asked him,
It
he
ends
said
with
not
n.
now,
And but
later, because he
like
was
talked,
talking
it would
with
be a
Angelo.
regular past
So
tense verb
I know.
because
So
it ends
can I
in
just like
ed.
pay?
So irregular verbs like run as well. There's not only spoken. There's run, which the past tense would be ran. So that's also another irregular verb. One example is he ran 5 miles this morning. That would be a past simple because there's nothing like before the verb. We'll learn that later. It's just he ran. And 5 miles this morning is the prepositional phrase, so you can take that out. It's just he ran past verb. So and like how it sounds, it's simple. That's why it's called simple past, simple present, simple future, because there's nothing more to it than running, ran, or will run. Speaking of will run, there's also the simple future tense, which is used for things that will happen later. Like, people say, I will eat this later, I will go to his house later. Um, and you're always going to be adding will or going to before the verb. For example, one example would be she she will write a book next year. That is an example of simple future because she will write a book next year is just prepositional phrase. take she will write out, simple, will write in the future. She's going to be writing next year. And another example of a future where you're not using will but you're using going to is we are going to visit Paris in the summer. That would be another. Oops, can't type. We are going to visit Paris in the summer. That would be another simple future tense verb. Are going to visit just because it doesn't have a just because it doesn't have a excuse me, just because it's not having will doesn't mean it's not a future. Future simple. We are going to visit is still in the future and it's simple. Um, so that's simple tenses for you. It's just past, present, future, what we speak in everyday life, like short sentences. Basically, what like we text. We don't really text that like fancy. We just put I will meet you later. Things like that. That's just simple. Simple present, simple future, simple past. Moving on to the next tense, we have the perfect tense, which shows that an action has been completed at a certain point. The perfect tense will always have a the adverb sorry, the auxiliary verb uh as a form of has or have, and then it would include a past participle like um for example, she has written 3 books so far. As you can see, just because it says written doesn't mean it's in the past.
Faris, if you go down, don't
Because
touch
of the
my iPad,
auxiliary verb
okay?
has. It's showing that it is what she's done so
I'm
far
playing
to this
outside.
point to the present. She has written 3 books so far. Whenever you're talking about a perfect tense, you're never gonna have an ing verb after the auxiliary verb, the form of have or has. But you will always have like she has, she had, she will have. Those are present, past, and future. So those are so far just like easy to remember. And remember, it's always a participle. Sometimes some of them, like this participle written, is an irregular past participle because it doesn't have an ed, as I said before. It has ends with n, and you'll see irregular and regular past participles in perfect tenses. However, there's also the past perfect tense, which is just showing that one past action happened before another past action. We could use had and then the past participle, as I said. Like for example, she had written the the report before the meeting started. She had written the report before the meeting started. That would be a sentence that has a perfect past tense because it shows had, and this is where you can tell if this is a past. Remember, just because it says she has written a book before doesn't she has written books to this point doesn't mean that just because you see written doesn't mean it's past. Remember, when you're looking at perfect tense verbs, always look at the auxiliary verb before looking at the main verb because this will is the only thing that will change the tense, the form of have or has. Uh, so another this tells us that the writing the report happened first and then the meeting started, as I said. So past perfect tense is just showing that one thing happened before the other in the past. And then lastly, for perfect tenses, we have the future perfect tense, which talks about an action that will be finished before another action in the future. We will use will have. Remember, always in the future we would put will or going to. So it would be formed by will have plus a past participle. Remember, always gonna be past participle as the main verb for perfect tenses. Um, an example of that is she will have finished her book by next month. That is showing a future perfect tense because of that will have. Remember, don't judge it by the main verb, judge it by the auxiliary verb. She will have is showing that's going to be done in the future, be, before the before the month after next month. So it's just showing that something is being done before um something's being done in the future before something else. So that would be perfect tenses for you. Remember, perfect tenses show that an action has been completed before uh, a specific time, has been completed at a certain point. For perfect present, it would be actions that started in the past and still matter now. Because remember, you saw that written past participle, but don't judge it to be a past perfect because or past simple because you always have to look at auxiliary verb that has or have or had or will have. And the past perfect is something that happened in the past before another action. And then the future tense is talking about something that will be finished before a specific time in the future. And that would be perfect tenses for you. So far, we finished simple and perfect tenses. Right now, we're like in the middle of the video, so I just want to remind you, hit that like button, subscribe, so you can be kept posted on my videos. Next tense we have is the progressive tense, which describe ongoing actions. Now, this tense will always have a form of to be before the verb, and the verbs over here will always end in ing. No past verbs, no uh, no no irregular past verbs, no regular, no en, no ed. It's just the verb, the main verb is always gonna end in ing. And it is formed like using I am eating right now. That would be a present progressive sentence because it has am eating. So that shows that it's in the present and the main verb ends in ing and it has a form of the verb of the infinitive to be before it. Another example would be she is writing. Remember, is a form of to be and writing ends with ing, the main verb. She is writing a novel, and that would be one progressive present progressive uh tense. This would be the form of to be is, and then this would be the form the ing main verb. Um, which means that she's writing it at that moment. So, and next we have the past progressive. We have the past progressive tense, which shows that an action was happening at a certain time in the past. It is formed by was or were, because that's also a form of to be. It just shows that it's in the past. For example, an example of that would be she was writing. Remember, was is the to be form. Writing would be the main verb. Can't spell. She was writing when the phone rang. That would be a past progressive sentence because was would be the to be form of to be and writing would be the main verb. Remember, even if it is past, future, or present, the main verb is always going to end with ing. That's why I'd recommend always look at the word before it. If it's an auxiliary verb, it's either going to be a form of has or have, or it's going to be a form of to be. And that is how you would judge it if it would be present, past, or future. Uh, and the future progressive tense would be is it describes an action that will be happening at a specific time in the future. It would be formed by the verb will be and the main verb with ing. So remember, it's always going to be will in the future or going to. Both of them work, so don't always look for will in the sentence. That could get you the wrong answer. Going to would also work. An example for a future progressive verb sentence would be she will be writing all afternoon. That would be a future progressive tense because will be is a form of to be, and this would be the form of sorry. So it's going to be two words in here. It would be will be. That would be the form of to be for the future. And writing, again, would be the main verb that ends with ing. And that would be it for progressive for the progressive tense. Remember, progressive always has a form of to be. Perfect has a form of has or have, and simple is just normal, just like ate, will eat, eating. That's it. Or he eats, not eating. That would be progressive. Now, next tense we have would be the perfect progressive tense, which combines perfect and progressive aspects, showing that an action was happening over time and was completed at a certain point. In here, as if you guessed it correctly, it will the words before the main verb will be have been, which is a form of has or have plus a form of to be, since it's perfect and progressive. So it was formed by as I said has been, have been plus the verb, and for perfect progressive as well as progressive, the main verb will always end with ing. For example, an example of that would be she has been writing for 2 hours. That would be a present perfect progressive because this would be the form of has, this would be the form of to be, and this would be the main verb ending in ing. Because it's perfect progressive, it's gonna have these two because it's perfect aspects and progressive aspects. Moving on to the past perfect progressive tense. It talks about an action that was happening before another past event, and it uses the form had been, like in the perfect tense we used has, had, and will have. This will also use like has been, had been, and will have been, or other forms of to be. Um, and an example for the past perfect progressive tense would be she had been writing. I know I use writing a lot in this for
Nam,
hours
uploading.
before taking a break. So that would be a past perfect progressive sentence because this would be the two the form of have been which has the form of has or have plus a form of to be, and then this would be the main verb that ends with ing. And this means that the writing was ongoing and then another action happened after it, which would be taking a break in this sentence. And then lastly, we have the future perfect progressive, which describes an action that will be happening for a while before a future time. It is formed using will have been. Again, always just because these examples show will doesn't mean it can't have going to. It would have will have been plus the verb ending in ing. Remember, perfect progressive and progressive always have the main verb ending in ing. For example, one example of future perfect progressive would be by next year She will have been writing for a decade. That would be an example of a future perfect progressive tense because will have been is the future is what you use to start out the sentence, and then writing again is the main verb ending with
No,
ing.
because
Will
after
is
I
the
finish.
future tense, and then there's a form of has or have and a form of to be.
Alright,
And
okay,
that would
fast
be
now.
perfect progressive tense.
Now?
And I have a recommendation for
Okay.
something that you might want to take a snapshot or write in your notes. A photo I think would help, which is just this little table that I know you can't really see right now. See it. Let me just, yeah, okay. I'd recommend either taking a screenshot of this table or writing it down in your notes because that would really help you because the brain memorizes charts better than just random words. So I would say maybe put this chart in your notes somewhere, print it, uh, write it down. This will help you with memorizing what aspects each tense has. Um, but thank you for watching. Thank you for watching my video today. I hope this video helped you. And remember, if you have any problems, if you want me to give you like practice problems for these different tenses, put it down in the comments. I'll be happy to help. Um, and yeah, thank you guys for watching my video. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.